somebody, a young person, wanted to see a difference so much. Like it gets out and move out of their comfortable zone to make that difference happen. And when I look at Africa, what we are facing now, I think that there are lots of potential leaders, there are lots of people who have started good things that can actually make the difference. And then probably they don't get the platform, like probably those in the parliament house or other big places to actually make that difference happen. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. One thing I think by the end of this is that leadership is not nobody's going to give you leadership on a plate, complete with a fork and knife. It's never going to happen, right? And even after they eat, if you're lucky enough to get it on a plate, it's still going to be very difficult as you eat it, right? Because every time you try to make change, people resist it. And there are many, many reasons why people resist change. So remember that. If you guys want to be leaders, you want to be future leaders, be ready for a tough ride, right? And because it's tough, that's no reason to shy away from it, right? I've looked through history. Look at Nelson Mandela. Look at Martin Luther King. Who else can you mention?
Malcolm X.
Who?
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, yeah. Kwame Nkrumah, he mentioned.
That's as well.
You think Jomo Kenyatta, they have an easy time? Well, one of the things you mentioned, Gaddafi.
Dog has never had you. You had a toughest. Gaddafi had a toughest time.
I mean, okay, that is a very good point. And how we handle that, how we handle that shapes how we look at things in our history. So I need to address that, right? So remember the bus example I gave. You go to a bus station, now we call it VIP, right? That many, many people sit on the bus. Luckily, they direct you, this is going to Kumasi, this is going to Sekandi, this is going to Coast. But imagine you get there, and there's nobody to direct you, or maybe you don't hear, you don't want to hear. So you get there, you're like this. So many, many people get on the same bus, you have different destinations. Can you see where, depending on where the driver goes, some people are going to be satisfied and some people are not?
Yes.
Why do you think that's the case? Because you have different destinations in mind, right? Just as I said earlier, I want Africa, right now I want that car, how did you get here? And he says it's not bad. We have different destinations in mind. What I have difficulty with is access. If I don't have lights, if I don't have electricity for 8 hours, it's a big deal. Some people are happy to have it for 2 hours a week. No, 2 days a week. And that's how right? So very often when we talk about leadership, we must remember that. We don't all have different destinations in mind. We don't all have different expectations in mind, right? So again, if you're an NGO, you want to do something useful, you want to move society forward, one of the things you can do is to educate people there's a better way. There's a potential for a better end. Forget about the politics and the direction and all that. Just educate people about where you find mortality is 85% instead of 50, where there's no hunger, right? It all comes with the destination you have. If your destination is different from mine, I believe yours was different from mine, darling, right? It's futile to argue. You hear a lot of people, especially in politics, right? And they go, oh, this one is the best president we ever had. And then this person, yeah, that's your assessment. Because to you, your destiny is so relative. You think that guy, because he built 2 dams or whatever, you're great. Somebody thinks, well, you don't beat everything. And therefore he wasn't. So remember that, even as one. and actually debate. On Friday, we're going to get into a debate. We're going to get some of you guys to debate. And remember these things. If you're going to mount a good argument, start with the destination in mind and then justify the destination you have in mind. Why that is the destination for the whole country to go to. You can build an argument based on that. If somebody's going to build an argument to say, well, we have 10 miles of hard road, and therefore this country is developed. Oh, even better. I hear people these days talking about development in some African countries, and they talk about the number of shopping malls that have been built.
Wow.
Finally, yes, and they talk about shopping malls. Have you not seen that mall here, that mall, and they take the road to the mall? And I think,
No one can is wrong.
sometimes you deserve the leadership to get. Finally, oh, I'm not arguing. I'm just trying to break things down for us to understand. Yes, exactly. Usually when we talk about leaders, we talk about the leader, follower as a dyad, right? Because you cannot have a leader without a follower. You cannot have a follower without a leader. You can have a lost follower without a leader. You can have a true follower without a leader. So usually when we talk about leadership, we talk about them together. DYAE as a dyad. So even on Friday, if you're going to mount an argument on the date you're going to have, consider that. That's what it is to me. Right? Because sometimes we shine the light excessively on the leader, but we must also look at the followers. It is after all the followers have a say in determining who becomes our leader. And then somebody here raised the point that yeah, but the followers are received. And then somebody say, yes, but I'm an NGO. I'm going to make sure that leaders, the followers are no longer received. So I'm going to be the one to educate them. Right? There are problems, no doubt, in the system. You as a leader, as a future leader, where do you want to step in? And not tell me I want to be president. Right? You need to learn, you need to grow, especially in terms of problem solving, to be able to get to that stage. Is a microphone here? Thank you very much. For me, I'm going to call it for me, capacity to build influence. Capacity to build influence. Really? Yeah, influence. Yes, of course. Yeah, influence. Right. And I just want to make a comment last week outside influence. Yes. I think just like the right mentioned, a lot of times when we spend too much time, we have influence over you. I think for example, I just take this for something else in present. Yeah. Now, when our wife is this book around settings, all of what the president did, basically was it was to solicit for 40,000. Now, the Americans have sent this to the government. But tomorrow, the Americans will come, still come, and ask for something. You understand? So, one is not only responsibility, it's our own problem. We cannot shy away from that external influence. So I feel that once that was going to say, okay, let me get to get about the but if you are going to ask for something, we also need something from you in return. So I feel that we as Africans, we just need to step up and take responsibility for ourselves. Exactly. And that's where this and that's where you guys come in. You are Africa's today and Africa's future. Right? What are you going to do with that? You have that. You have something I don't have. You have time. And yes, yes. I actually think one of the reasons why we find ourselves where we are today is because we missed out on the fundamentals for too long. Okay. You hear people who want to get into political offices, right? Telling us things in Africa that I'm going to give you roads, I'm going to give you water, electricity. But these are things that you're supposed to have had. Yes. When you say go to the US campaign, all they do is policy. the questions they have been asking is, are you going to bring our troops back from Iraq or leave them there? The gun, people that keep guns in their home, are you going to retrieve them? What are you going to do about climate change? These are things they talk about. You don't tell anybody you give them food or they already have these things. And these are things that we learn. So by the time these people come telling you that these are things that they are going to do for you, which are the fundamentals, which are your rights, and you lack them, they become very gullible. And at the end of the day, they get in there. And the problem, the issue is, when they get into these positions, they become more powerful. Next time, they don't need to even tell you to get what they want. All they need to do is just get the few people, maybe get talks and all that, and they get into office. So if we try as much as possible to get all these information, we will be able to pick the kind of leaders we want. But for now, till we get that right at the fundamental level, it's going to be very difficult. Okay, you talked a lot. I'll let you talk again. So, what part by civil society, public service management? Okay. Let's say you were, maybe in public service, as a citizen. Can you think of something that you need to do to fix the problem you just identified? Yes, the problem is there are a lot of things involved. Everybody wants to grow. It's just like, sorry to digress basically. There's a saying by Sheikh Mohammed Rashid Ahmad, the leader of the party. He said, you wake up every morning and there are two things involved. The lion is trying to run as fast as he can to get the gazelle, yes, to feed. Meanwhile, the gazelle wakes up in the morning and says, okay, I'm trying to run as fast as I can, so I wouldn't be caught by the lion. So, in either way, the gazelle is always running not to be the food. The lion is always running looking for food. So, everybody is trying to survive. So, relating this to what I'm saying, the masses are trying to survive. And even the leaders also are trying to survive. Because the masses are looking for something, and the leaders don't want to be there. So they do anything they want to stay where they are. The masses also do what they want to get what and to get their basic needs. So that is the basic problem for us. So in relating to what you were saying, even in I won't talk about myself personally. Even I want to defend myself. My question was, see, I want this to be just list the problems session. I want you guys to start thinking like leaders. You see problems, we want you to start thinking how can this problem be solved. Maybe not individually, maybe I need to get into a group, maybe I need to get together with some like-minded top level leaders. But that is my question for you. We know you talked about it, you highlighted a lot of problems. I believe you. Let me bring this down to leadership before we go on. Leaders do the things that nobody else is doing. They solve the problems that appear to be what we call intractable. The problems that nobody else can solve. That's what leaders do. Leaders don't just do the routine that everybody else is doing. Then you know the leader. Right? So the most difficult problems, that's what leaders can think about. Now, usually the good ones, and you don't find this in any textbook. I know that. The good ones are usually passionate about that issue. They sleep, they wake up, and that's what they do. Right? How am I going to solve this problem? If you read about St. Martin Luther King, his history, civil rights was a big deal back then. Right? Was it in the law? It was in the law that they said, no, this is correct, we have to change it. He didn't go and pick up a gun. He didn't know some people advocating that. And he thought of ways, and every time he took a step and he found he was losing, he didn't give up. These leaders are persistent. Right? So we'll talk about attributes of leaders and their behaviors. They do not give up. Okay. All right. So we've highlighted some of the issues with leaders today, right? And these came from you. I didn't sit here and tell you what they are. I think I have to move on, maybe do some slides.
Yes.
And a lot of questions you want to raise, we will discuss, or you can raise them as I go through. Okay, just two more.
To give a clear summary about the taxi space, I'm a Nigerian. I live in Ghana. My wife is a Ghana, right? Now, you see the taxi people around, you know the destinations you're going to very well. Now, most of the times, those are the ones that, if you don't know where you're going to,
Right.
those are the ones that shut you so hard because you don't know where you're going. Okay, right? But the other guy asks around, he doesn't know, but you have a clear understanding of where you're going to, right? You get to your destination perfectly and you pay as much as necessary, right? Now, bring us down to what we're saying, right? In my country, Nigeria, I don't think that our leaders are informed because these guys travel abroad every now and then.
Whenever I hear that, whenever I hear somebody say they travel abroad,
It's because they were educated there. Most of them have those
it
education.
doesn't matter. This is something I really want to set straight. The fact that somebody's traveled abroad or lived abroad doesn't mean they know how things are done.
I was
No,
going to relate it to Zambia.
no, listen, I hear this a lot. People will be in the system to understand how things work, how to even plan to implement something. I find it an issue
Yeah,
with
better
a
need
lot
to
of
laugh
people.
together.
Being also like, okay, they never did it. So that is not a reason to question our critical
So what I
self.
was going to say is that, so what it means is that perhaps these guys don't have the right intentions. Now, coming
Or
to
they don't
my work,
know. Sometimes they
or they
don't
don't
know.
know, okay, let's take it that scenario. Coming to my work, right? Now, I understand that there is a big need to bridge the gap between college and career, right? Now, I realize that a lot of times there are no these opportunities around where kids can go and understand the course they are studying and how they can use it in the environment. Okay, in my college, for instance, there's never been anything like that. Actually, there's never been any career training in that direction. So what did I do? I decided to do something about it, right? I didn't have an understanding of what a job fair or a career fair is. I had the concept in my mind, okay? So what I did was I learned about it and I was able to do the first career fair by using that organization example. Okay, now bring it to the buses scenario. The other guys, I don't think they don't know about career fair and how it can help the students to be able to function very well, right? As students and pick the right career. So the person that becomes a good leader, like you rightly say, might not be the guy with the best brain and clear concept of what should be there, but the person that eventually did something about it.
Okay. Maybe even if you do something about this is what we call showing leadership, right? He saw a situation that needed fixing and he took it upon himself to do something about it. Did not go to Accra Metropolitan Assembly and say, give me 20,000 seats to go fix it. Did you do fundraising?
Oh no.
That needed to showcase their stance and advertise their businesses.
Right.
I saw where they can benefit from what I'm doing,
Right.
and they got into partnership with me, of course, and they got the value they needed.
Right.
And eventually, we got what we needed because students were trained. Actually, over 300 of them were very trained that day, and everything was being done from that. Next
Are you the NGO track? Civil
um,
society track?
my
Definitely.
organization, we have an aspect of NGO,
No, it is more about entrepreneurship. Pardon?
entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship. That's fine, that's fine. I need to cut it short. I'm being told we're running a bit out of time. But this is what, yeah, I said two more, yeah. This is what leadership is, right? It doesn't have to be the big change, the whole world in one day thing, but change the area where you have influence. So I like that example. Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. I see leadership as being the change you want to see.
Right.
Because so many people have talked about moving out of your comfort zone, you taking up an initiative and implementing and so on.
For me, the problem we have right now with leadership is that leadership falls on the lap of people that are not prepared. These people never had hopes and ambitions of being leaders. So most of them are clueless. They don't really know what to do. They don't have the solution to the problem. They just want to hold positions and be there. So young people
Lack of
get lost
ambition.
in that euphoria of discussing the problem, forgetting that someday the responsibility will lie on your lap again. What will you do? That's why we were asked, what will you do? You begin to think, okay, that's true. What's the solution to this problem? We have talked so much about the problem and we don't know what the solution is. That's why Yali is very specific, preparing us so that when we become leaders, we will get the solution to the problem.
Not only that, Yali is also preparing you to be leaders in whatever sphere, whatever sector you're engaged in, right? To the point of being able to influence people to get things done. Like what he did there, he said he linked up with companies that had the same, they needed something, right? That's a form of an influencing strategy influence people. Just one more thing. No more. You'll get a chance to answer questions. Thank you for the opportunity. I love also. I want to say that leadership is not about responsibility. Leadership is not about it. Leadership is about you. The reason why we're here is because we've been doing something about 80s, and we are actually working with people that we have a level of leadership skills that can be developed. So if we wait for government to do it, we are just trying to prolong time. And some of the things that need to be fixed can be fixed by us. When we stand for it, when we fight the cause, we can fix so many things even without the government. We can dictate to government the policies and framework that they need to work with. On my opinion, when it seems spend I really more than other colleagues in that sector have opportunity to develop framework and policies for government to run with. I happen to be an expert, but right now I'm working with agro sector. I'm 90%, and I'm actually dealing with agriculture. I'm actually helping little people to live life. It's actually out of my track, but I saw the need and I ventured into it. And I always, I was really perturbed by the way attitude is how we respond to foreign interventions. Even people that want to help are asking you for money even before they can help. Yes, DFI who want to help somebody, they want to open your marketplaces, they want to train you, they want you to make more money. And when they call you for training, the next thing you ask them, where is the money? Because you felt that they have so much money and they didn't do it. They want to build your roads for you and then to fix things so that they can actually earn more profit. And the next thing you see, African ask is, where is the money? So intervention project is something that the attitude is there. So we need to change the attitude as leaders as we try to take responsibility for more people. You begin to see people with different attitude asking you for, they're giving you money, they're going to money out there.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you very much. You guys have highlighted a lot of problems. And my question to you is, what are you going to do about it? What about them? Let it be a beginning, right? And remember, bringing change about is very difficult. Leadership is also very difficult. You have to work extra hard. You have to sacrifice things. All the leaders in history, we generally different. They all have to sacrifice. Your sacrifice may not be as big as what they have to go through. Nevertheless, there will be some sacrifice, either time, money, or something of that kind. Good. Okay, let me give you a prediction. And you can still ask questions if something comes up. Okay, this is what we're going to try and do. We're going to ask some fundamental questions about leadership. And some of these questions came up in our discussions. You talk about leadership qualities and lack of some people. In Africa, I know in Ghana for sure, we have some people that belong to the royal families. For that. Then they have influence. We call them leaders. Sometimes they're good, sometimes hit and miss, right? So we'll talk about those come up in the fundamental questions of leadership. Uh, we're also going to help you assess your leadership abilities and skills. Yours. You need to be honest when you do this, because you need to know yourself as a leader. We'll talk about what is effective leadership behaviors. There are certain things that leaders do that make them effective, in other words, they accomplish their goals, and their followers' needs are met, and those are effective leadership behaviors, right? We'll talk about values and value systems and how they affect leadership effectiveness. We all have our own values based on our culture, where we're born, our religion, so many things. And those are values that are internalized, deeply held beliefs. Another thing, we'll talk about some of the fundamental questions on leadership. Why is it important to know yourself as a leader or as a future leader? Why do you think you must know yourself? Where's the microphones? What's the response? You know, Greg?
Yeah. Knowing yourself as a leader helps you understand what kind of risk or what kind of decisions you are willing to take and those that aren't good for your values or your stance as a leader.
Exactly. Yeah. By the way, what happens if, as a person or even as a leader, you take a decision that goes against your values? How do you feel?
Um, from our discussion so far and from my own experience, I've realized that in certain situations, you'll be fixed at a point where you don't have any other options but to make certain decisions, even against your own principles. But in the long run, in the effective end, if it's going to be of benefit to the people that you are trying to help, then you must sacrifice and then make that thing possible.
Okay, so you answered my question, but you took the long route. Yeah, very good. Him in the back.
John Paul from Nigeria. Um, my own belief is leadership is all about delegation.
About delegation.
Delegation. If you know your abilities, you know to delegate that to other people. So it's all about knowing what to do well and delegating others to do what they want to do.
Okay. Okay. We need to, and I'll pick on this a little bit, right? As we get into leadership, and if you want to go, we need to pick our words carefully. Exactly what you said was leadership is all about delegation. Not all about delegation. It's partly about. Yeah. Especially when you go to debates, your opponents are going to use it against you.
Exactly.
So remember that. It's partly about somebody who hasn't spoken yet. Okay. To be an effective leader, you must connect to your inner self. You cannot give what you don't have. If you don't understand your personal attributes and what really motivates you to do something, then you cannot be effective. Exactly. So you must connect your inner self to your outer self. Exactly. Very good. Good leaders know themselves very well. They know their abilities, they know their limitations. I'll give you an example where this comes into effect very easily. Good leaders say when they're putting together a team, as a leader, you will always have followers. Remember we said the dyad, the good leaders know who to put on the team. And usually they will pick people who are not just like themselves, but people who augment their weaknesses. Right? So as you go forward and you put your teams together, remember that's not the thing should happen. You don't want a team where somebody comes and says, can I get somebody who can do this, this? They say, no, I have nobody in the team. You have to have a team that's all around. There's no need, if you're the best dancer in the world, you put it together an entertainment team. If it's not a dancing team, go for all dancers. You need other things to supplement what you have. Yes.
First of all, you must be a good personal leader.
Right.
And personal leadership leads to effective leadership.
Right.
And self-awareness will help you know your values, your
Yeah.
abilities, and capabilities in order to improve yourself and also know your.
Very good. Very good. You guys are teaching very well. Do you need me there? I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's
Having
stepping
them
out and see the
beginning of
chaos.
becoming a good leader, knowing yourself, being assessment of your strengths, your weaknesses, and then working to build up your weaknesses and even more so your strengths. Do not be static because things change. Right? So we'll get into that. Effective leaders practice their abilities constantly. Right? One of the things they do, you see someone like Obama, President Obama, does he give his speeches? So what do you think? You think he just gets up in the morning, another speech, and gives it? Or does he spend time practicing? He really does. He really does. Right? There's a book called The Outliers. Have you guys read it? Yes, wow. I told you I didn't need this. I don't need to be here. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. No, you read some very good books. It is all based on proven research. And it tells you that to get good at anything, you have to practice a minimum. What's the minimum? 10,000 hours. Exactly. Right? And that's what good leaders do. So Obama, for instance, before he goes out to give a speech, he will read it, mark it up, he'll go change, he'll bring it back, he'll look it, do it again, back and forth, and he'll deliver it. And it is very, very important. If it's key, like say you're going to give a speech about a business proposal, and it's do or die for you. And you actually want to get up in the morning, stand in front of the mirror, and practice, and watch yourself in the mirror. So these are some of the things that good leaders do. And then engage in continuous self-improvement. So for instance, you guys at this stage in your lives, you may want to be taking evening classes, online courses, that sort of thing. In areas where you believe are necessary for you to know, based on where your leadership takes you, or where you're not currently at the top in terms of knowledge. Right? So continuous self-improvement is a must. Okay, why is continuous self-improvement necessary, especially for effective leaders? Because I stand there before you talking and pretending to know everything that I don't. Is that shocking? Okay.
It's realistic.
I'm glad you realize that. We all have weaknesses. We all have weaknesses, right? And that's okay, that's life. It's too much
Nice.
for any one person to know everything. The worst thing you can do is to think you know it when you don't know it. I think one of the best things you can do is to know what you don't know and then stop. When I first started working many years ago in industry, they test you, huh? When you go in situations, sometimes people will just throw things at you to test you. Sometimes I'll go talking to somebody, and they were mostly older at that time, and whatnot, and they'll throw something at you. So one day, you know that thing we're talking about yesterday, how do you fix it, Victor? I say, sir, initially I'll just say something.
Mhm.
I realized, that's not very good. Because I really don't know, I should just, I'll say, sir, I don't know, can you explain it to me? And they will. And they really did, I found they really did appreciate that. The opportunity for them to actually teach me something, right? And somebody actually later on told me, said as people get older, they have a lot of knowledge, they tend to want to
Yes.
upload the knowledge. So take advantage of that. So effective leaders want to show up their weaknesses. To do that, you have to know what the weaknesses are, right? Ineffective leaders try to mask their weaknesses. And a lot of people also engage in what we call negative behaviors or ineffective leadership behaviors. So we're going to look at some of these. If you want me to give an example, like, can you think of some leaders who do not know their weaknesses or who are ineffective, and therefore they try to cover up, so they end up displaying negative behaviors? Yes, in the back. Let me try this. Can you speak up? I say one of the weaknesses is uncomfortable not stereotyping. Oh, stereotyping. That's a very good one. But, oh, okay. So you call it, the behavior is what? Stereotyping? Okay. And stereo. Okay. Don't mind my typos if I make mistakes. What kind of weaknesses do you think bring this about? Yeah. Is that what? Right. Okay. Okay. So the weakness is lack of knowledge or ignorance. What is it? That's a very good point she's making there. She said the weakness is cultural background. But what the cultural background cause the individual? It's ignorance. So I put the two there. You don't think it's ignorance? Yeah. What's the effect on followers or organization of the country? Pardon me?
Discrimination. Discrimination can be one.
Cyber discrimination, right? Okay. Another one.
Thank you very much. I like to take it from personal level.
That's what we want you to do. Personal experiences.
So I have this subject my presentation. What happens is that I bring my students, my teenagers, I say hi for the first time, they tell me every detail about you. I'm a programmer by profession. I like
Yeah, what type
a
of
programmer, a
program?
software programmer.
Okay.
So I like getting information like math, figures, numbers, and statistical information about you. So you say hi, my name is Patrick. I don't pick your name. I don't name anything to me. But I pick other information about it. So I need to say, hey, you are the statistic guy, you have done this project, you did it, you have extraction over a very long period of time. So I pick up those information, but I don't know your name. And long term, I don't compare it with them. And they were like, hey, you still know my name for the third time? And sort of causes that kind of problem. So that was the challenge I had, and I have to work on it. So I believe that is also the area.
So yeah, that's a very good point. Also, what would the behavior be? Not remember names. Yeah. Let's. This is a visible part, right? Yes. Okay, and what's the weakness from
No,
that?
I connect to them. I believe it's the
I might leave that to you. What's the weakness with that? What's the weakness? Not remember names. I agree.
Bridge the communication.
Okay, hang on. Effect is disconnectedness. Okay. This is, no, but let me finish. This is, I wasn't expecting this one, but this is a good one. I have tried the same issue, right? Remembering names. If you ask very good leaders, someone like say, you guys think Bill Clinton was a good leader?
No.
Pardon? I think
Regarding
he was okay. I
the
mean, he had his woman issues. I think personally, I think it was okay. Very smart man, though, right? Of course, I think the wife is even smarter than him. That is one of the biggest gifts as a person that enabled him to be a leader, right? He remembers names, even if he meets you once. And not only that, people have said, um, especially the women that he's met, I'm pretty sure right? They said if you meet Bill Clinton once, you're talking to him, maybe for a minute, he makes you feel like you've known him for a million years. He has that ability to connect instantly. And it begins by being able to remember names, right? So if he sees you, he comes up to you, calls you by name, shakes your hand, while he's shaking hands, he's looking at you, right? And then says something personal about you, if he remembers that, or say something that relaxes you. And that's a gift. And as a leader, of course, it allows you to influence a bit easier because there's that connectedness, right? So these are some of the abilities that some leaders have, and those that you and I who don't have it, we have to work twice as hard to develop it. Some
okay.
people it comes easier, others it's work, right? There are many methods for doing that. If you want to stay in leadership, if you want to grow as a leader, then excuse me, if you want to grow as a leader, then find a method that works for you. Because it's a key skill that you must have. Yeah, right? So you identify the weakness here to go back to what we talked about earlier. And just one more. Somebody said dictator. Okay. So behavior is yeah. Okay. And what's the weakness from that?
Inferiority complex. Inferiority complex.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing. I think. Somebody said confidence. I
No.
will spell it, but don't worry. I mean confidence. Whatever it is, that's how it's manifested. Right? The lack of self-confidence and all that. But how else can we classify it if there is dictatorship? Yes. Right. Oh, I use it to classify all the behaviors. Oh, I understand what you're doing, but to classify, no. I use it to, yeah, I think somebody mentioned lack of self-confidence. I believe it's one of those. How a lack of communication abilities, right? Because if and then sometimes I think there's thinking abilities as well. Because if they really are good leaders and they think what they're saying is true or is the way to go, they should be able to sell. Dictators don't have time for that, right? Sometimes management styles are very autocratic. So if you go to the office and there's somebody that says, I said it, I'll say it once, just do it and leave me alone. That's fine. They're not leaders. They're weak leaders. Because good leaders will come up, tell you what we're going to do, tell you why we're going to do it, and sort of find a way to convince you to come along with it, to the point where even when they're not there, you're willing to do it. Right? Autocrats and dictators, people only do things when they're watching. And they use what we call coercive influence tactics all the time, and it doesn't work always.
I think that's the problem that many, I think that's the problem that we face in many of our offices today. And I just want to say to my colleagues that we should be careful because people blame the people that are already in leadership. But I noticed one thing that if you blame someone else in leadership, you end up becoming the individual because it's like the individual has influence you at a particular point in time. You beat his leadership. So it's like when you are making criticism, let it be constructive because if not, if you fail to be constructively, we end up being the same people that are criticizing. So let us tell them that when you see in our institutions, in our organizations,
And that's a very good point. Only before you leave here, we'll have time to talk about this a bit more. There's a way to express disagreement, and there's a way to offend people. You have to learn how to express disagreement without offending. This way, you have more mileage left in you in your career. People are more willing to work with you, right? Hope you will teach a bit of that.
This morning.
I just want to there's something like the concept of benevolent leadership.
Right.
And this is something that particularly should try in Africa, considering the fact that it's agreement. Previous cultures, several traditional systems of governance. So let's think about this particular concept of benevolent leadership and how they can reach the overall essence of the group.
That's a bit on track. I think we agree. We're going to talk later, but we will talk about culture and leadership. Because in Africa, I think it's an issue. A lot of comments you made earlier can fall under what he's going to talk about. But I'm going to have a few minutes to actually discuss it further. And he will be before the end of the day. Culture, our culture, and leadership. I have one question, but I heard this quite a bit about benevolent dictators, right? So let's say you have a dictator and they're benevolent. Whose benevolence are they? Yours or mine? What is neutral? If one of us want good to be good and you want good to override, and the driver is a dictator, he says, shut up, you two, I will tell you what I want to take, takes you to you. He is a benevolent dictator, he is just a dictator. Right? So my question is, whose dictator do we want? You don't answer that? Please.
Well, if I know your question carefully, you ask me which dictates you want. Is that it?
Actually, I'll simplify my question. We even want dictators at all. Whether they're benevolent or not.
I think the word benevolence, if I recall carefully, was used by David Moyers in the age. So when he said it, I recall.
I think it was used before that this somewhere.
Well,
Because it's in the dictionary.
yeah. But the reason I'm saying this is, take for instance Rwanda. Now Rwanda has, I would like to call him President the benevolent dictator, in the sense that when he came into power, when he was reviewing Rwanda, you have his number, you can call, get to the passport office, and you stay more than 6 hours in the passport office, you have a president's line to call and tell you what your problems are. And
He's
just
not, no, no. That's a bit different. Dictators don't have systems.
Don't go away.
They have orders. Every decision is made by fear, right? And it differs. So what you do today is acceptable, tomorrow it is not. That's dictatorship. What he's doing is more autocratic leadership style. And it's a continuum from total delegation to autocratic. And that's what he's doing. One thing you're going to learn is as a leader, there are times when you have to be autocratic. You're not a dictator.
can we use the bus as an example?
Can we use which?
The bus, the driver of the bus.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, for instance, we went to Enugu. We went to Enugu.
Right.
And fine, everybody sits in the bus in Enugu. We should bear in mind that not everybody wants to get out at Enugu. Although Enugu is an endpoint, there are people that want to stop at the road. There are different towns before Enugu. I want to stop at those towns.
Right.
It means that although we are all in the same bus throughout the country or an organization, we have various endpoints. And we have elected as a leader to that endpoint, using as a bar mate. Now, as a driver, you have a mate. And that mate is looking, perhaps mate is a conductor, he's looking after you to coordinate the people and make sure that those who are like at those endpoints reach their endpoint. And there is a situation whereby those normal bicycles that everybody wants, if it's a longer journey, you have people who want to urinate every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, driver, I have a key, he has to urinate. Stop the bus. Now, as a driver, you must come to compromise and say, these are the stopping points. I'm not stopping if you don't get to those stopping points. So your ability to manage those situations and dictate even in perhaps if it is not so much of an emergency. And you say, look, man, I'm not stopping, we'll stop at the next point. If you want to pull in the car, you pull in the car. There are drivers like that. Listen, but the fact is that we stick to rules and make sure it's done. In some way, leadership, that is the way I see it benevolent dictator. You are not so much dictating, but you are dictating because you have to go and make sure that you achieve. So the end determines the means.
I think you're a simple, personally, I'm completely against in the use of power. It's because we don't have systems in place that sometimes we yearn for dictators. What if tomorrow that dictator turns against you? You still going to be happy? They're benevolent to somebody else, but not to you. So you're exactly here. I hate to leave you. So you get to a level where there's a lot of kids with great hands, something like that, right? Because the driver already stopped. Who hasn't spoken? Who hasn't spoken?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Who's that?
Rachel. Yeah, go ahead.
So if you think of about 80% of the doing the task.
Okay. That's a good point. That's a good point. There's a reason why we need leaders. Leaders are supposed to have high capacity to think. They can get into directions, right? They can understand complex situations and make decisions. Most of us are just here whenever we are. We do not see everything the leader sees. We don't know all the information the leader has. So the leader will make decisions sometimes which we perceive to be bad for us. But in the end, they result in sometimes beneficial to us. That's a separate issue. We talk about the typical African dictator, the Indian type, and all of that. It's very much, right? I don't want your type of dictator, that's what we're talking about. But in terms of leaders making decisions that I may not immediately agree with, at the end point is something that we want to agree to. For one thing, that's why we appointed them as leaders, because they can think and reason and negotiate and decide and have input which way we go. We trust them. That's why we delegate things beyond other people that do it. We'll pay you twice, we'll pay for your fuel, we'll give you a nice office, you fly free from CTA to CTB to conduct your business. We'll give them all these privileges. They can think for us. And it happens even in companies, right? The CEO, they get paid a lot of money. They hardly ever spend any of that money because everything they use on company expense account anyway. But that's okay because they're doing something that's beneficial to all of us as a group in the company.
I think it's actually looking at the use of principles. For me, I believe in the mixture of both autocratic leadership and democratic leadership. Because sometimes, if you actually follow the own principles, it might not really move.
Then she's raised a very good point. Leadership behavior is not consistent. You don't expect the leader to behave the same way, the same way, the same way. It depends on the situation. Right? But dictatorships, no. Autocratic decision making, yes. Again, that's what I said. That's why we pay them so much money to make decisions for us. We say to a leader, no, I cannot, this is too complex for me. I don't have that high level of energy that you may have. So we don't need to elect you, especially as two young people, to think for us. And sometimes, for reasons of time alone, you don't have time to go back to the consult. You have to make a decision on the spot. It's quite okay. Can you imagine, God forbid, the nation being attacked, and you just, you know what, let me go hold the service. You guys know the president is? Yeah, they're trying to then go hold the vote. Should we respond to this attack? God, right? We need a leader that will say, we shall not accept this attack as against our right as a sovereign nation. We will respond within 24 hours. Like George Bush did, 9/11. Yes, whatever terms you want to use, right? So leaders sometimes have to listen. But when they start picking people at night and troubling them because they disagree, sometimes those are the things. Leadership should not be, leadership can impose standards, but the right thing to do is to get the standards changed. Once you start going against standards, it's a slippery slope.
She said oppose.
Uphold, uphold. Okay. So you get an idea where we're going with this chart, right? Leadership and their weaknesses lead to behaviors that are ineffective, and in the long run, they have influence on society. You can think of a thousand of these. You can think of Idi Amin in Uganda. This is a cool Sani Abacha, yeah, where Nigeria's biggest bank was the UK. Okay. Okay, do you know your weaknesses first now? You sure? Okay. It's a continuous thing. Continuous thing is coming. First step is solve any problem slowly. But admitting that there is a problem. Right? Generally speaking, we don't admit that there is a problem. The people that do, they're the ones that do it because they're aggressive. Again, sometimes leaders are pressed into action before they're ready. A good example is culture, the system of hereditary, the chiefs and whatnot. So somebody's uncle dies, after 2 or 3 days, they're the next chief. What have they done to make the lead effective? I mean, granted, our culture has things in place to protect against that. But the ultimate authority rests in the hands of the new chief, right? From what I understand, what it, so the council of elders that advises the new chief. But the new chief, they're smart, right? When they begin to learn about leadership and how to be leaders, and that's what makes them effective. The bad ones, on the other hand, attempt to bully their way through. Africa is, again, seeing quite a few of those. And that's going to be, I think, one of the questions in the debate on Friday. Can you have your opinion on that?
Yeah, somebody mentioned about cultural because what we know in Africa is the traditional system of leadership. Now, traditional system of leadership are people who and I believe personally that the one who practices democracy in Africa is the one. And also, if you also want to do the mixture of the two, I think we should be very forward. Yes, education, but full democracy, and that's why most of us are suffering. And it's only people that have the vision and the passion to make that difference that's come out. And that's why we have few African presidents that we still celebrate, and many of them we fail because of the fact that we use the traditional system. And the mentality of those people that even advise the president still have that in mind. So the cultural effect has cannot be played in mind. And that's my opinion.
Okay, so yeah, bringing up the debate on Friday. Yeah. We're going to do something later where we select who's going to debate. And everything we're teaching between now and Thursday, you're going to probably need to understand and to bring into the debate. Right? Yeah, you're right. Africa has had a lot of bullies. It's almost like bullying heaven. Yes, I'm down everything I've spoken about this. Okay, so we're going to do an assessment which will help you determine your readiness for leadership, among other things. Look at your leadership styles. It's a very short survey, 10 questions. When you see the board, do you remember? It's almost there. Verona, are she ready? Who's got that? Okay. Just how much after break or now? After break?
So, Governor, now.
Okay. You guys can do it while I go for it.
You don't see where it's going to
Okay? You see, you have to agree, right?
No.
I think dictating you are
After break.
no distribute the sheets. Take about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, think about what you've done. When we come back, we'll discuss it, right? We're going to access your leadership style. We'll talk about knowing yourself. We'll give you some feedback on it. One of the things that's really hard is integrity. So answer yes. Right.